Today in our studies in Exodus we come to chapter 22 and verses 1 to 17. It's a section concerned with legislation for the protection of property. In modern society there's an increasing tendency to punish theft more severely than murder. Though the penalties for theft were great in ancient Israel, they were far less than the penalties for murder. And this shows the Bible's attitude. Indeed, the first few verses of this passage emphasize this most vividly. A burglary at night might lead to the death of the thief. In the dark, the culprit cannot be recognized, and self-defense against someone who may have a dangerous weapon is understandable. However, in the daytime, the situation is different. Usually it's far easier to assess the situation and danger. We may presume that the law here assumes there is no danger, and in such circumstances the man who has been burgled is not to take the law into his own hands, and certainly must not inflict a punishment out of all proportion to the crime. Even the thief has a right to life. If he is murdered, his assailant is to be fully punished. The remaining verses in this section deal with the theft of an animal, property damaged caused by negligence, the loss of goods while under the protection of someone else, and the loss incurred through the seduction of a daughter. The thief who was caught in ancient Israel had to pay compensation for the theft as well as pay a fine. The extent of the punishment doubtless would have discouraged theft and emphasized how such actions were hated by the Lord. Moreover, the penalty reflected the value of an ox, in particular, the many years sometimes required to train the animal. The laws for negligence are similar in principle to those we've already seen in chapter 21. Those which deal with the loss of property in the possession of another are fairly clear and obviously sensible. They ensure the resolution of what could be a most embarrassing situation and seek to minimize the likelihood of ill will developing. The laws in the Old Testament were never simply concerned with what was right. They also sought to heal broken or strained relationships. And this was vital in a society where people could not really avoid meeting one another on a regular basis. The New Testament shows a similar concern for the unity and harmony of the people of God. It was this, rather than the rights and wrongs of the matter, that concerned the Apostle Paul when Euodia and Syntyche disagreed in Philippi, as we read in Philippians chapter 4 verses 1 to 3. Yet how few churches show the same zeal for harmony. Unlike some of the surrounding nations, women were not regarded as property in Israel. A dignified status was given to them. Just look at Proverbs chapter 31 verses 10 to 31. Nevertheless, if a virgin daughter was seduced, it would lead to financial loss for her father, since he would not be able to ask the usual bride price for her. And this explains why verses 16 and 17 are included at this point. Interestingly, here it is only the bride price that is required, even if the man does not choose to marry her. Probably it is assumed that she acted as a willing party. Proven rape seems to have been more severely treated, as we see in Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verses 25 to 28.